Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hannah Davis.
Ben Crater.
Andy May. Jacob.
And this is the Halloween podcast.
Oh, let's put the lights on now.
Pardon?
Hannah, keep going. Let's go.
And we are analysing 2022 Barbarian.
Hey.
What a blast.
Wow, you can absolutely hear the disappointment in some of our voices.
Look, I think we should keep calm. Let's, of course, start with the absolutely amazing shot we have available to us, provided by none other than the magical, the I don't know, Queen Witch herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hyper
Jesus,
roll.
guy, calm
Where you
down.
ending that? Why you started that? Wait.
Well, could we do the
What?
shots?
We're
aren't
doing the
Yeah,
shot.
sure.
Oh, you
Oh,
said
yeah.
shots. I thought you meant shot. Like
No.
the scene.
Enjoy this
It's
wide
cool
angle.
too. Yeah.
All right.
It's
So,
not-
do
yeah.
you want to introduce us to our beverages today, Hannah?
Oh, okay. Well, for our shot
Don't
of the
sound
day.
Disappointed.
No, I just haven't really talked about that. So for the shot of the day, we have Jello shots with some homemade chocolate melted cobwebs.
Yeah,
Don't have to eat those if you don't want to.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't really think ahead of this because you kind of have to get your spoon in there
we'll
to get it out.
use
So you have to
it's
kind of
all
put your... No, you kind of have to put your
And it's gone already.
put your mic down to kind of actually get the Jello shot out of the jelly.
Nah, and she did a 50-50 ratio of vodka and water. So there's 1 cup of vodka and 1 cup of water spread.
You idiot.
Get it out. See you like that.
All right, we are going to put the microphones
That's
down.
what I said.
Oh, get the spoon, the spoon,
No,
the spoon.
use the straw. It's easier.
Yeah, told you.
No, not to...
I'm trying to...
That's not really a shot either. It's just
I
a
didn't really
cup of
plan
jelly.
To our
Yes.
audio listeners, Ben's just absolutely having a hard time
Oh,
with
there we
it.
go. Hang on. No, I'm getting it out with the spoon.
I didn't really plan this ahead.
That's all right. All right, here we go.
Hang on, can we just get some more of that, please?
So, oh my god. So this is 50-50 vodka and
Jelly.
water.
Alright, we got...
Oh god. Okay. Oh my god. What are you doing over there? I don't know what's going on. This turned really R-rated really fast. I don't know.
Holy Ben's just eating it like jelly.
It is!
I dropped some on my groin. Hang on. All right.
Free
And
for later.
Shit, with the lime one, you can taste the vodka.
Jesus Christ. All right. And what's our other drink for today? Hannah Davis.
Still trying to get it down.
Yeah, we're not getting it. Hannah drank it off.
To the far left-hand side of the table, we have this skull to partner with our skull cups. So online, I looked for the one that I think would
Ben looks
represent.
like a 12-year-old at lunchtime. Having his little...
Why are you eating with that in? Oh, because you can't. So let me see if I can do this right. So we went out one day to a tiki bar and had the best, just huge skull full of liquid gold. And I tried replicating this one just because I thought, like, you know what? Rather than having one cocktail, thank you, for the whole night, let's have a big jug of it. And so I made a punch. It's got peach. Pardon?
No,
you
go for it.
you
Go for it.
No,
No.
come
Oh,
on.
yeah. It's got peach snaps in it. It's got coconut coconut rum, so Malibu. It's got what else does it have in it? Normal rum, so Bacardi, and then it also has white rum, yep, and then it also has orange schnapps. I can't remember what you call it. Schnapps. And there's some orange juice, pineapple juice, and lemonade. And then inside of that we have some little decorations that I made just for us. They look like eyeballs, but it's light cheese with blueberries in them.
That's lovely. Can we get a round of applause for Hannah and her efforts today? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Too much.
Very,
Yeah,
very
the
well done.
citrus
Nah,
is
it's
gone
calmed
for
down a little
like
bit.
10 minutes.
And
All right.
and also the decorations we've got today. A little candle on the right, the left hand side of the table.
Bob.
We've got Bob over there on the right hand
Which
side of the
looks
viewers
like
table.
the intro of our podcast.
Yes, it's a little mascot now. He'll be in every episode somewhere, hidden. Also got this caution tape up. Enter if you dare. That's very scary, but cool. All right, so do you wanna Fuck, how do we do this
Let's
again?
have
It's been
a
a while.
sippy.
Oh, yes,
First,
have a
let's
Yeah,
sip.
it's
try
been
the
a-
drink.
sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's been a while since our last podcast, so we're kind of
Yeah.
out of practice.
Some of us have to be.
Nope. All right. We're
Ben-
still missing my
I
clinking.
got
That's fine. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you all missed out on an episode of the podcast on bodies, because someone decided to pull a sickie.
All right, but we're not.
He pulled a sickie from work.
Hey,
We'll
look.
go there.
All I will say is, to be perfectly honest, I kind of like it more than the Scarlet Grog.
No.
I like that.
Wait until we have the Skull Grog next
That's
time. Then.
the tiki bar. Yeah. Anyway,
It's lighter. You don't taste the alcohol.
Good.
cool.
'Cause
Anyway,
Which
Jacob-
is
Hot
terrifying.
beer,
Jacob
but-
didn't measure it. We
It's
did
not
the
30.
measures. We doubled it, and then Jacob goes, "That's not enough," and pours
Yeah, he
the
just
whole bottle in it.
pours of everything in.
That's what you gotta do, man.
Now we do our spoiler-free review. Is that
Oh.
correct? Is that our first thing? Jack,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
might
yeah,
start
yeah.
the other end.
Yeah, start the other
I'm
end.
gonna
Jay
say
Swoops.
I think we all had very varying opinions of this one. I liked it for being a fun experience to watch with friends. Is it something you bring your parents to watch? No. Is it something you watch by yourself? No. Was it enjoyable? Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. Was it a great movie? Probably not. I wouldn't put it up there with a great movie. Was it a shit movie? I don't think it was shit. So I don't know. It's very, for me, it's a very average, but it's fun to watch with friends. I would say that's my spoiler-free review.
All right.
God.
I'm going to talk to you for a minute. I will say that I got into a car crash earlier, so of course, maybe
You
my
want fucking
opinion is a
sympathy
little
points here.
bit jaded, but all I will say is, I love this film like a pit bull loves a 3-year-old. I want
In
to
what
murder
context?
it.
Oh,
I am done with this film.
okay.
I want to
Okay.
say it's bad, but no, I feel sorry for the
choice.
DOP. My God, did he do amazing work?
Yeah.
It's some of the best, but holy shit, whoever the writer is, do you have a job? Like, oh,
3-year-old dude.
oh, my word, I am not happy with this
Alright.
film.
Look, I'm not a horror fan. I don't know why I agreed to watch this shit. To be honest, like I hate horror movies. I hate house horror movies. And I was like, yeah, sure. I watched the trailer. I was like, that looks terrifying. And then these guys bought the tickets. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going. I'm not pulling out again.
Yeah, you only get one free one a year.
We get one sick leave day.
Yeah.
This company.
So yeah, I watched it, and oh look, yeah. Once again, cinematically beautiful. There's just the first half is incredible in terms of watching it with friends as a horror movie. It was kind of like when we watched Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I know you weren't there for that, mate, but it's all right. You know, you can imagine.
there
You
for
can
second one.
imagine.
Different paranormal activities. We had one without you, and we had one without Andy.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh okay, interesting. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely the second half was kind of a bit of a. There's a few giggles in the crowd, which was a bit interesting. You don't really want that in a horror movie.
But it was still
I think that's what it was
scary.
trying to do, though.
Yeah, it turned very much at the end like an exploitation horror film from the
It
70s.
tried
And the
very hard to be campy.
And the problem is, you just don't see any of that in the trailers, the posters, nothing. And it feels like you're being ripped off for that.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'll get into it later. You
Yeah.
rip into it.
Well, not saying it's exploitive like you said, Andrew, but I feel like it kind of takes, in a way, I don't know how to explain it, but
Take the piss?
no, yeah, but no, it's kind of like it's taking the cool parts from other movies and kind of putting them in there. Because, as I was saying to Jacob earlier, the monster.
Lots of intertextuality.
Yeah, like there was some stairs in there that looked like the stairs from A Quiet Place. There was a character that looked like another character from It. There
When it
was
went back in time, it was kind of Nope-like. With where it
Nah,
goes.
look like.
no.
No, you're wrong. No,
She,
no.
she
And
said
then-
Nope, which is a fucking copy of Nope.
Yeah, how dare she?
And then like there was things under the ground, and that kind of looks like as above, so below. Like the that's my spoiler 3 review.
Tried really hard not to spoil it there. So
Yeah, get more of that cocktail down. Yep. All right, Jacob.
Alright, so
Alright.
I guess, well, are we just going to start from start?
Well, might as well.
Well, actually, I was going to say something. You two weren't there for the start, so I
Yeah.
reckon
We
Hannah
missed
and
the
I can
first 10
explain.
minutes, that's true.
10, 15. Look, and this is actually a really enjoyable moment, but it was actually very interesting. So we've got Bill Skarsgård as our
Pennywise.
Actually interesting, and that was something that
Again, all the promotional content
Yeah.
makes it out to say he's
the
going to
bad
be the
guy.
thing.
Yeah, so it
oh
makes it
my
out to seem like he's gonna be the bad guy. And you even think that with a lot of his dialogue.
Yeah.
Like even if you didn't see the trailer, you'd probably think that.
No, he's just a man.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. He's a horror actor. Like we've seen
True.
we
So he's made
associate
it for
Bill
himself.
Bill Skarsgård
Yeah.
with Pennywise.
Mm.
So I mean,
No.
or Curry, but yeah, no, we definitely with
Well
with
cast.
Pennywise.
Well cast.
That's another thing as well. The casting was brilliant because I think
Yeah.
you've got an actor who plays AJ. I forgot his name. Oh my god.
Oh my god, how did I forget it?
Anyway,
I'm
who
already
plays
drunk.
AJ, who you enjoy watching him, but it turns out he's a real dick. So anyway, at the start of the movie, we've got Nina. It's Nina, right? Nina?
Nina,
Justin
yeah.
Long, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nina.
Mhm.
Nina.
Yeah, let's
is
pull
the
up
main
the
Yeah.
Opens
cast
up the
list.
Yeah, so we've got Nina. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Nina pulls up to this Airbnb in
Tess.
Detroit.
It's Tess.
It's Tess.
Huh?
It's Tess.
Okay, let's get
Okay, well, we've got Tess.
Good old mate Tess.
Yeah, so we've got Tess pulls up to an Airbnb in Detroit. It's very, very dark night. It's raining. I hated the lightning. You two didn't see it, but the lightning on the opening shot was so artificial. Like, just like deliberately really bad. Like,
That's I'm gonna branch off that one.
yeah. That really pulled me out of it. Anyway, we have Tess pull up to the house and go up, try to do the old Airbnb lock, doesn't work. Knocks on the door, no one answers, whatever. She calls the agent picks up, go back to the car. And then she sees the light turn on. She goes back to there and she's like, oh, there's a guy inside. It's Bill Skarsgård. He opens up the door. And it turns out that he booked the same Airbnb through a different website. And both of them are like, well, this is fucked up. You come in anyway. And all this dialogue from Bill Skarsgård really makes it seem like he is the bad guy. Because we kind of know it's a horror movie. He's associated with Pennywise. So we kind of assume that he's going to be the bad guy.
The dialogue
Yeah.
at the start was the best written part.
Absolutely. And
With
those two were fantastic together.
Oh,
They did really, really well together.
tension was so...
Yeah.
And even just like the chemistry as well, but after they moved past the tension, just like there was some genuine chemistry between the two characters. You can tell they liked each other.
But
Yeah.
like, there's this constant tension like between the two that you don't understand what.
Just secondhand
other's-
embarrassment tension.
Yeah.
Say that, but keep it going.
Yeah, and because the audience goes, it's a horror film, we're going like the whole time. Yeah.
Emma, what were you going to say about the lightning car?
I was gonna say, it was very. This word keeps on coming up in my head, but I don't want to say it because it's mean. But it's not the word that I'm trying to say. It was very student film kind of feeling. Like they really tried to.
Fuck.
No, I don't know.
As film students, that hurts the most.
No,
but
no,
I understand.
no.
You mean the opening?
No, well, I guess so. But then you kind of got used to it throughout the film because you realize it's just very stylistic like that. Like they really experiment with a lot of cool shots. The lighting at the start's really artificial, and just a kind of like
Independent filmmaker feel.
yeah, that's a good.
It feels
word
like
for it.
A24, but not A24.
Yeah,
I did not get A24 from this film.
I didn't get
at all.
A24.
Really? I got
No.
A24 just from how fucking wild the story
I was expecting Blumhouse to come up like at the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was Blumhouse, but there was I did not know any of the production companies that made this film.
Neither.
Which is interesting.
crazy
But yeah,
names.
so we have got Skarsgård. They go to sleep. Skarsgård offers Tess the bed. That would have been his bedroom. There's only one bedroom. She goes and does her teeth. No, yeah, it's really just some unimportant shots, to be honest. Interesting. Anyway, so we have the first night. We have Tess wake up in the middle of the night to her door opening, and this is where I start watching the film through my fingers because I hate nighttime. But the thing is, it was actually scary in daytime as well, low key. But anyway, nighttime shot. She wakes up in the middle of the night. The door's creaking open. She's like, "What? That's crazy." And then she hears Mr. Bill Skarsgård, Keith, on the couch, kind of talking to himself, jerking around. Body's having a fun time, and she creeps out.
A not so good wet dream, yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I wouldn't have correlated those two, but thanks for that, Andy.
And then she goes over to him, taps him. He stops moving, and then wakes up. And that's kind of like the little first sort of little jump scare.
And they only showed the top of his head. The rest of his body was cut off by the bench. So that's why I was like, there has to be something there tickling.
It's like obviously peed his pants and they can't fit.
Okay, all right.
All I will say
Anyway,
is
keep going.
this film loves jump scares. There's no like actual horror in the sense of like like it is a horror film, but like you think about it, most of the scares are jumps.
No, but I think
they're very
the
good at building tension in the first half.
The tension. The first part is some of the greatest tension. I'm not the biggest fan of the sound design. It felt a bit.
To be honest, I think
very
the problem with me is it's so hard because the second half and the first half of these movies are two completely different movies. And it does
first quarter versus the rest of the film. Though.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing as well. It's just so if you haven't watched this film before, it's like the film can almost be split into 3 parts. The first part we follow Tess. The second part we follow a new character called AJ, played by Justin Long, and the third part is kind of the same part where it's kind of both of them together, but it's opened with a flashback to the 50s.
Yes. 80s, 90s.
50s?
Sorry, 80s.
No, 80s and 90s.
Oh.
No, it's Reagan admission. That's what. Oh, a little history lesson. So it's
God.
Detroit. Basically, Detroit's not going well with its housing market. They had like whole white communities during the 50s and 60s, and then come the 80s and 90s, it's really not. Money's in there. People are leaving a lot. The Reagan admissions, they're currently in the baddest economic they've ever had.
Right. Yeah, 80s.
They said.
You're right. Yeah, 40 years.
And he knows his shit. Don't you fuck with
so
his history.
Detroit at the moment, and that's why you see all these awesome houses that are absolutely destroyed. They go for $1 each.
Yeah.
It is one of the worst housing markets in the United States and that of this side of the hemisphere. It's insane. There's tourist traps and people go there and then they realise, holy shit, there's not neighbourhoods for miles. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah. And you keep going.
No, I was just going to branch off. We, as people who were there from the start, we don't actually see the neighbourhood at all because she rocks up in the night. It's storming.
Yeah.
And then Scar's like, oh, this neighborhood's a bit sus. I'd rather stay here. And she's like, what?
It didn't seem that bad.
And she didn't trust. Yeah, literally. And then in the morning, she steps outside for an interview and all the houses are broken down and the only good house there is the one that she's in. And it's like, what?
Good house, yeah.
Well, it shows that whoever the owner is cared about the property and didn't want to leave, which is a little bit of a foreshadow.
Anyway.
It's kind of foreshadowed twice, isn't it? It's like for 2 different things, for AJ and for the mother. But anyway, and then we have the first night, wake up, and we see a little door open in the background as well as she's walking through the hallway. That was my first clue to stop watching. Shot. But I kind of get the independent sort of stuff from that. It's a bit, like it's kind of like string on the door.
I must say I love the shots that when afterwards when they're in the house, that door is always in frame.
Absolutely.
And you're constantly just
always
staring at the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was mwah.
It's always there, and that door is. Every door's the same in the house, but you just know that one's so special.
That's the bad one.
Especially like they use leading lines. Like every shot made the door look so far away down the corridor because it just looked so long, but like it wasn't.
I thought it was really clever because the cinematographer used really stylistic shots on like moments that really didn't need any style. For example, Bill Skarsgård and Tess. Bill has to wash the sheets because he's obviously been in the bed before Tess can go to sleep in the bed, and later on, they're talking and you see the machine's finished. And they do a shot to show, they're still talking even the machine's finished because they've got chemistry. But they used a split diopter shot to show the hallway in focus and the laundry machine in focus. It looks beautiful, but it's one of those shots that you wouldn't think needs such a stylistic choice.
And that match cut between day and night. That was
awesome.
My God.
That was when Jacob turns around to Ben and Andrew and goes, fuck, that's very cool.
I think I was watching.
You even went...
It's when she goes back to bed after... So, Bill Skarsgård's having a nightmare. Tess wakes up. She wakes him up. He's like, did you open my door? Because I closed it when we went to bed. Bill Skarsgård's like out of it. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, go back to bed. And she goes back to bed. And then the camera kind of like does a movement back. And then it holds there. And then it
cuts
like,
to her.
Cuts to
it does this awesome like snap. Like it is... Anyway, it's very well done.
It's very impressive.
I don't remember that at all.
So
really?
She gets up. So yeah, we saw the door in the background close, so now we're like, oh crap, there is someone else in the house.
Is it haunted?
She gets out. She's all dressed up for her interview. Old mate's not there. Keith isn't there. So she gets in a car, and that's when she realizes the neighborhood is fucked. All the houses are absolutely decaying.
I was gonna say, as someone who's very scary and very jumpy with these films, I thought the placement of the camera when Tess was driving through the neighborhood with the majority of the frame being taken up by the window. Have you guys seen I'm Legend? And you know how like when Will Smith and the wife are driving through the city and the zombie jumps at the car? Every time I see a shot like that with a window mainly in focus, I'm expecting someone to jump at the window. So even though it was daytime, I'm still watching like this so that I don't see it. Yeah, you keep going.
No, good, all good. So yeah, she's going for a job interview. We don't know. Oh, yeah, that's right. She's working for a film company.
Yeah.
All about
researching for a documentary.
Yeah. Which is true. That sort of area has a lot of blues history, and there's these huge like tourist traps all about blues and everything like that. And then you just like you'll turn around and there's nothing for miles. So she goes really well in this interview, but afterwards they're like, she's like, I've got to go back to my unit in Barrisville.
Yeah, it's like something.
Bryansville or whatever. And she's like,
Barbarian Street.
Barbarian Street.
Yeah. Something like that.
And she's
hence
like, you
the
can't
name
be
Barbarian.
there. Which is...
Because you're a living Barbarian Street. You're a barbarian.
And she's like, you can't be there. No, that's impossible. And anyway, she goes back home as she's trying to get in the house. The homeless guy chases her in.
So this is the first moment where... Yeah, it sets a lot of expectation for like this guy's maybe the issue the whole time because some homeless guy kind of runs at her from the distance. It's very scary, and again, they've done a really good job with the first half because you see everything through Tess's perspective.
Yes, it was so cool. Like I'm not sure if you noticed, but there was a moment when they hold on this shot, and I just go, hang on a minute, and I leaned in, and you could see him running. Just sprinting in the background, and he's out of focus, just sprinting towards it, and you're like, "That's cool."
Yeah, and it's really the sound design's all like scary and stuff when we're following Tess, and then later on in the film when we're following Justin Long, it's more cheerful and like there's even a line at the start where Tess is like, "Men can just kind of barge into situations and not have to stress about things, where I always have to be careful as a woman." And I think they tried stylistically to make the two halves feel like that. You follow it from a woman's perspective, and then you follow the second half from a man's perspective.
Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah,
because it's so carefree, the second perspective, but the first perspective, it's just constantly like anxious.
Yeah, he's definitely an extreme of a male character. I'll say.
I mean that's what Keith says as well. It's they're not all the same, but you're seeing the two polar opposite ends of things.
So she gets into the house, she calls the cops, and the cops are like, we don't have anyone near there. And then she can't find Keith, and then she goes into the basement.
She's looking for toilet paper.
That's right, yeah. That was honestly kind of funny. I'm not sure if the story was written in 2020, but toilet paper being this MacGuffin.
No, she's so stressed and decides to go to the toilet, and then realizes, shit, there's no toilet paper.
Have you heard of toilet paper? Like tissues? Like, I don't know, like compromise. But anyway, she goes into the basement. The door locks behind her. Phone's inside. She's like, crap. She's looking around. She's trying to find something, and then she realizes there's a rope. Pulls it, and that opens this secret door. What's in the basement?
What's in the secret door, Ben?
But I think there's so...
Sorry?
No, what were you saying? Sorry?
There was some really, once again, stylistic shots, which really stuck with me, where she realizes that she's stuck in the basement, and so it goes like doo-doo, and then goes on a shot of the what does it go on the first one? The phone, and then doo-doo again to the keypad at the front. And it's like, why is it?
She's got the key in her pocket, so Keith can't get in to help.
I actually really like that. I actually really like that editing.
My problem is you don't realize it's going for that real sort of independent visual. Like, I think it needed to have like really arc back to that era of that or something like that, so then the audience goes, oh, that's the kind of energy I'm in for.
Do you think it was kind of doing that to kind of ease the audience into the idea of going, boom, different aspect ratio, and we're in the 80s now and it's colourful?
I think it's probably more, if he was trying to prepare for something, he was trying to prepare for Justin Long's segment, which is way less horror at the start, at least.
Where the film
more
goes
just
downhill.
Human.
Yeah, I think,
human-
again, the problem is in all of the trailers or all of the marketing, you don't have this energy. And when it comes to this, you're like, oh, okay.
It's just it's trying really hard to be so many things at once.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a good thing because I know we watch a lot of trailers, and we're like, fuck, they just gave away the whole film. I don't have to watch it.
But again, though, it's trying to trap a different audience in. They're trying to get any, like...
Hey, but we still watched it though. We saw that. We saw the two different timelines. We're like, 'cause originally, did we all think that it was two different timelines?
Yeah.
I thought it was two. I didn't know they're gonna meet.
Yeah.
I thought they were two different stories. I didn't know that were two different timelines.
I thought it'd be like the beginning, like the first ever person, and then it would be Tess eventually going back to it. While you guys devour your jelly, I'm gonna continue. So we have it goes down the basement for the first time. However, I don't think anyone's mentioned it. The door actually gets locked behind her, unfortunately, which I still don't understand now because the whole door opening and shit like that. Even the bathroom thing, right? Now this eventual villain was talking spoilers now. This villain is probably 6'5". Like she's a pretty big chunky lady, right? You would definitely hear that bitch on the floorboards. You feel me? Like
she wasn't chunky, but she was.
She was very skinny.
Parts of it, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
No, but you'd be upstairs and she'd be on the concrete,
No,
all the way downstairs.
Yeah, but I mean when.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You don't have a microphone on.
Yeah.
How are they eating food? She's still got
She doesn't
packaged.
even have
Like, how the
stomach.
fuck is she food? Other than
Well, she
tenants.
comes out at night.
She eats all the. Yeah, she
all
goes
the
out at
homeless
night.
people.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Did she eat them though? It wasn't just. It
Yeah.
wasn't explained if she ate them.
I think
Sorry.
you know that she comes out at night and she obviously is.
Yeah, but that,
We're getting ahead of
Anyway,
ahead of
it's
What
ourselves.
was
not
Ben
properly
saying?
explained anyway.
I was gonna say
addressed anyway.
Now, because I hate, as I said, I hate demonic things, and I thought watching the first half of this, and that it was actually the best part of the film, was that I thought this was a demonic film. I didn't think it was going to be a figure,
Yeah.
right? Because the door's opening, and all of a sudden, like, how did the bedroom door open, and none of them heard her?
Because they're asleep. I don't.
No, but
think-
she was awake when the door opened.
True.
She was her eyes were open. You could see the door opening in the
So
background.
every time the door opened, it was the monster trying to get out.
So how?
but there's even
Unless it's
bigger
like a wind
continuity
gust
problems
sort
with
of
that
thing.
Pardon?
because
Oh, it's a wind gust. It's a fucking gust. It's some sort of suction that closes the door.
She's opening.
Yeah,
the monster's
'cause it-
trying to get out, opening the bottom door, so that's causing the other door to open.
But I think
doesn't that happen
at
when
least
one window.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they
All I
can-
will say is we've put
Sorry.
a lot more thought into this than they obviously
No, no.
have.
but what they're consistent with that door. With that door consistently swings shut.
It
So
does, but why?
Yeah, but not the bedroom.
I think it's
Mate,
just-
you don't have your microphone.
Yeah, but not the bedroom.
Okay, I don't understand why it closes though. Why does that door close?
True.
Yeah,
I think
again,
you're
they
digging
don't.
too
They don't
deep into a
explain it,
film that isn't trying to look
and they
at
don't
that
give
way.
a shit that they're like, no, we're
Yeah,
not
they're
going to
not.
explain
They're
it.
not trying to go that deep.
You've had a
into
door
things.
close on you before, like.
Oh,
Like
what?
they know how campy some of it is. Like there's a moment later where one of the characters is like, "She'll never find us here," and then as he says that, she comes through.
Yeah,
It
and
knows what it's trying to do.
Again, the audience is as aware that it's going for this campy energy. So when this door repeatedly keeps closing, it's like, oh, what is this thing? What's causing this? Leaving Ben here to be,
Not watching, clearly.
Yeah.
Doing this. Anyway, look, we go downstairs, and then all of a sudden you hear a knock at the door. This actually scared the shit out of Andrew. This scared the shit when the knock on
when
the knock on the
Bill-
door when old mate's upstairs. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård. When he's upstairs, she comes out of the hallway with the mirror. Yeah.
Well, first she finds a hidden corridor. She finds a room with a bloody bed,
Yeah.
a bucket, and a
bucket.
camera.
Came with a tripod. What's the bucket doing there, by the way?
I think just
pissing
a pee.
his
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's keeping. No.
But they're in the cages, aren't they?
That's
Anyway,
later downstairs.
Yeah,
But it's interesting. It's interesting how that means nothing to Bill. Like she goes and she sees it,
That's what I mean.
and then she goes up and talks to Bill, and she's like, "There's a bed and a bucket," and Bill's like, "What's
Oh,
scary about a
yeah,
bed
sounds
and a
like
bucket?"
opportunity.
Let me have a look.
Yeah. It's. I just
I
wish
think
we got more Bill.
After this, we really realized that none of the characters are going to be smart.
I think I was watching this like planning on what I'm going to say about this. I think there are moments where it's deliberately written for you to go, fuck off, don't go
Exactly.
down there. But
Yeah.
there's also moments where Tess is like the way she spoke to the police when she was at the gas station is how we would talk to the police.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm not a druggie. I need your help. And they're like, no, calm down. Where's your ID? I don't have fucking anything. I don't have an ID. That's how we would talk. Like,
Yeah.
what she said in that situation is how I would say it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I would probably, like, I don't know, do something
All
else.
I
but-
would say is surely that they can look through the bloody that little glass that she broke, and there's the hidden passageway.
No, but it closed, remember? Because when it can magically close.
Yeah, again, doors just don't open.
Well,
apparently,
she's still
Stay
roaming
open.
around.
Wait,
She
how
can
did
close
the-
shit.
How?
Why would she close it? She
How
doesn't
did
have an
it-
understanding
She
of what
comes out at
police
night,
is.
She doesn't like she.
Yeah, no, I
only
understand
comes
what you're
out at
saying.
night, so
Yeah,
she
yeah.
closes it behind her. But yeah, what were you saying then?
But it wasn't closed.
Yeah, but how does she close the door and the rope? Oh, no, I guess the rope gets...
The rope pulls.
Why
it
is there
over.
rope?
can just
Oh, I
put-
guess for him. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, she comes back up and we hear Bill knocking upstairs. He's knocking on the front door, awfully loud, but that was kind of like a little jump scare as well. And then we have Tess go over to the window.
jelly shot just hit me.
Oh, there you go.
shit.
Only. And we have Tess go over to the window and get Bill's attention. They help to open, get the key outside so that they can open up the door. Anyway, this is the first instance where it's kind of like listen to the main character, and it's a really annoying thing in film that I hate. It's like, you know, everyone else is like, oh, we don't believe you. It's like she's like, no, listen, there's someone else downstairs, yada yada yada. There's a bed, there's a bucket, there's a camera, creepy shit, there's hidden hallways. Immediately, if a girl came up and did that, right, out. Anyone tells me that shit
Yeah,
in a basement,
With
I'm
that-
not staying there.
with that combination, that's enough for anyone to go. Fuck that.
But if anyone comes up to you that scared, she was.
yeah.
She booked, can we point out she booked the Airbnb for one night and stayed multiple... Like, she went back... She didn't check out at 10 a.m. She came back at 4.
Oh, bro, it's Detroit, man.
She came back after the job interview. She should have taken her stuff with her.
She knew she'd get a week out of that booking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Justin
especially-
Long came there like 2 weeks after she
Yeah,
was
I
trapped,
know.
and they hadn't cleaned the place or
I know,
anything.
I
it's
mean,
disgusting.
if she looked like she had a thing full of Bill Skarsgård. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, she was just like, I'm going to use the shit out of Keith now. He's booked this. I don't have to
That's
worry
the
about
thing,
it.
like,
No,
even,
no, she just wants to sleep with him.
what's the even in that situation, even if like Keith goes downstairs, I'm not following Keith.
But you know,
No, I'm
Keith.
sitting in the
I just-
car waiting for him.
I'm standing at the front door.
just one
I'm in
second.
the car.
I want
Yeah,
to bring
but
us back
Jacob-
1 second. I did think it was really clever when you think about there's a moment when they make the bed together back before they go into the corridor.
Right.
Keith and Tess make the bed together, and then Keith kind of waits to see whether Tess is going to sleep with him.
Yeah.
And then Tess kind of indicates no, and Keith leaves. We know now that there's another character in this movie that would have been a bit more persistent.
It's
And
a
I
fucking
think
piece of
Keith,
shit.
I
hate
think Keith is meant to be a comparison to Justin
Yeah.
Long, especially in that moment.
it. But we don't know it until we meet Justin Long.
Exactly.
So it's a bit iffy. But yeah, so we continue forward and anyway, Bill goes downstairs. Sorry, I should probably say Keith. Keith goes downstairs.
Keithy
And I was gonna say Nina. Tess yells out, "Keith, what are you doing, mate?" No response. Yada yada yada. Like goes down the stairs and it's like, "Oh, I've got to help out this bloke." You know, I kind of enjoy him a little bit. We're gonna make sure we get our refills here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then goes downstairs to follow Keith, and you can hear Keith screaming
is a
in the distance,
bartender.
right, implying that he's quite far away.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Checks every room. Yeah.
There's just
When
doors
we
hidden-
get- when
Sorry,
we
my
get
microphone's
in-
not on.
When we
Yeah, he's feeling a drink. You go.
yes, that's when we get into the actual room. I want to talk about that because it was something like. Actually, I'll just talk about that.
Very confusing.
Is this when we haven't been introduced to the? No, we haven't. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it going if you don't mind.
Go
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I have something.
We're
I wanna
going
talk about.
downstairs, so this is when
Yeah.
she's about to meet him.
So she walks into the room. He's not answering her anymore. It's like, oh my god, oh my god. She goes into the room and then she goes into the room with the bedroom and then she looks under the bed. Bill's not there anymore. Where the hell is he gone? He's just disappeared.
That was really weird.
Exactly.
It was, yeah.
But then she discovers another freaking door at the end of the freaking room.
Yeah, freaking hell.
And you open it, and as I was hinting earlier, if you've seen As Above, So Below, which is about the catacombs under New York or Paris, she opens the door, and there's stairs that leads down to, like, hell. You don't see the end of the stairs, and then you hear him screaming, and he sounds fucking yards away. How the
Yeah.
thing that bugs me is how he got down there so quick. That's what I was getting to.
Because he's a man.
But again,
Yeah,
this
that's
film,
a good point.
this
yeah.
film doesn't care
No,
about
true,
explaining
yeah.
itself.
No. I think, okay, I adored the shit out of the idea of this Airbnb with yards and miles of unexplored territory. And I love the line. There's a character that we'll talk about later says she's not even the worst thing that's down there. That made me go, oh, that's really cool. This is it's a multi-level sort of thing with what's worse than her, what other monsters are in there, and then it's just old man and a dude.
We haven't really given context for people that haven't watched the film. There is a monster down there, so
Yes.
we go downstairs.
We don't know that yet, though.
Not yet.
Exactly.
So-
So we're following still through the eyes of Tess, going downstairs, and this is probably the best part of the film.
Yes,
For me
Yes.
personally.
the
my
most
God.
tension,
That
scariest
really
part.
freaked me the fuck
Just
out.
a constant. It was I think it was her phone light. She ended up turning her phone light on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just going through these tunnels. There's this concrete tunnels, lots of stairs going down. It gets louder, but we start discovering things along the way. There's cages on the ground. There's blood
Cages
in the
with
cages.
dog bottles.
Yeah, dog
with
bowls.
dog bowls.
Which we
with
work out
blood
later.
covered. Yeah. And then keeps on going, and then we kind of what was the initial jump scare. We were interrupted by Bill Skarsgård.
Bill just runs in on all fours.
Yeah,
Yes.
And that's in the trailer, and that kind of made
Oh,
me think
really?
he was good.
Well,
Yeah,
I
You
didn't
kinda,
see
I think
that.
in the moment you still think, oh my god, he's a monster, and then
he's
you
the
realize
monster.
he's just terrified,
Yeah.
and he's like, something's
He's
down
so
here
good at
with
acting.
me.
That whole family
Something
is just so
bit
good.
me.
Something bit me. Something's down here
Which
with
is
me.
it's so this is mad.
I really wasn't a fan of the whole like, no, don't go that way. That's where I got bit. Like, and there's this awkward tug of war. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yelling at each
no,
other.
you just
But I think
one of
I
them
think
just sprints.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job of showing how terrified he was. Like he went from being so confident, like, just stay up here while I go into the
Yeah,
caves
yeah.
that you
Just
told
a
me not to go
bucket.
into. Just a,
I think it, and I don't like to
Bucket
compare
him
it
up.
to. Obviously, I have a lot of respect
Camera on
for.
bed.
I have a lot of respect for veterans, and we talk about war, but like that movie we were looking at the other day with the shell shocked kids. Remember we were looking at on the TV on the TV out there. There's like the film that made.
Oh,
a
come
while
and
ag-
see.
Come and see. Yeah.
yes.
It was. I'm not comparing it to that directly, but it was that change of emotion and facial expression from Bill Skarsgård, and obviously I wasn't watching too closely.
He's watching like this.
But then,
Mhm.
and then we're interrupted by probably everyone in the cinema went, what the fuck? To be honest, I think. I saw tits. That's all I saw.
Yeah, so basically,
You
a
can explain it. You'll watch
giant-
it.
old naked lady,
Talking about
like a
6'5".
deformed naked lady with
If-
massive saggy tits,
Okay.
came and grabbed Bill Skarsgård's head and obliterated his skull against the wall. His skull was mush.
Like
Yeah.
it like cracked.
I saw. I
Like
have
cracked,
to watch it back.
split open, and he just.
It was,
But
And
you couldn't
then-
see it all.
and then,
No, but didn't she roar?
yeah, she
Oh.
screams.
Yeah.
She screams, and you're like, "Holy shit! Holy shit! What the fuck is this? What the fuck is
it
this?" And then
cuts.
bang, we're like happy music.
Isn't
We're on
drive down the
beach
highway.
shore. We're following Justin Long in his convertible car, and we're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
And I think we don't really acknowledge a lot of the initial dialogue in the scene. Like, it was nice. Like, obviously I see daytime and I can start watching without covering my face, but I think I was like, what the fuck did we just go through? Like, I knew it was going to change. Like, we've seen the trailer, knew it was going to change, but it happened then. And it happened a few times throughout. Like, there's a lot of
Happened
back
one
and
more
forth.
time where it's
Oh no, when
like
she's running down the street, like, remember it goes back and forth between him and the seller.
that's true.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so then we meet Longy's character and Mr. AJ. He's on a phone call with some not impressed folks.
Yeah, so he's been accused of sexual assault and rape. He's an actor, so he's all about my career, that lying bitch.
Yeah, I think the biggest red flag automatically is the fact that he calls her a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And she doesn't ask like, what have I been accused of? It's a straight away just like about the film.
Well,
like,
no,
am I
he
still on
knows.
this?
He's like, is there something else? It's like, yeah. It's like, what should she accuse me of rape? He like already he knows what he's done. And he
But
throughout the whole film he plays ignorant, but when he's drunk he almost admits to it essentially.
Pretty much
Oh,
does. But like,
later on, yeah.
And like, we spoke about it in the car, but it's not that we feel like we believe him, but like we know that actor. And that's why I say in the cast it was so well. We know that actor. We're like, we like this guy.
We do.
Initially.
Yeah, you like Justin Long. He's
Yeah.
in the films. He's very charismatic. He's a very charismatic guy, and you instantly want to like
He's
his
not a
character.
baddie.
And so when this comes out, your first thought, although terrible, is like, maybe he's the victim, because you're watching a horror movie.
No, absolutely.
Like you want your
it's wrong to
protagonist be a
say
victim.
inevitably, like knowing what happens, it's wrong to say. But like watching that with no context, we've only seen him in the trailer, happy in the car. He goes on the Airbnb, but like we don't fully, we don't fully understand. What the fuck are you doing to my jelly, bro? Thank you. We don't. I think inevitably we think that he could be innocent, right? Until he meets with his wealth advisor, which is just an interesting scene. I like the color scheme. But
I do say that, but I feel like
Color grade
it's
is
not like
really
you think
coming out there.
yeah.
you basically follow him. It turns out he actually owns the Airbnb that Tess and Keith were staying at.
Yeah.
And so, because of this accusation, he's got to liquidate all his properties. So he goes to Detroit to check out his property.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a moment when he's at the property where he hangs out with his old best mate, and he says, basically when he's drunk with his best mate, he's like, "Oh, she didn't really want it, but I was persistent." So he essentially admits to it. But I feel like before that point, you know he's a bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adore when he is talking to his his financial advisor.
Yeah.
At the start, we don't see anything. We just see the shots of his framed photos of his family, so we know where his values are automatically. And he's just absolutely disgusted face of just like, yes. So anyway,
So we I didn't like the scene with the best friend in the bar. I think it was very, very forced, and it was only needed there. So we hate this bloke, but I don't think we've ever, the four of us, watched the film and gone from going, "Oh, this guy could be bad, all right," to absolutely fucking like, we were moaning and groaning in this fucking cinema and how much we hate this guy.
And the problem is, he's in the next 3/4 of this film as essentially the protagonist.
and we're meant to go. Oh,
And he does. He
Well, I don't think we
doesn't
are.
get any
I
better.
think the entire purpose of his character is for us to want him to die. But the problem is that gets tiring when he's the protagonist.
But it's actually really interesting because it's like we went from absolutely being terrified of this mother, of this creature in the cellar,
to just, for God's
to
sake,
fucking
kill him.
rip his head off.
Kill
which, I
him.
mean, look, there's a little bit
To-
more than rip the head off later on, but
Maybe he has a chance because of the
Yeah.
fucking monologue.
Oh
To-
god, we'll get to that later. But there's almost a moment where the film like tries to like
Make
it's
a
moment
redemption
where,
arc.
it's a moment where the film's like, are we gonna redeem this rapist? And thank God they didn't. But shit, when there was a moment where like he starts kind of like saying he's sorry about things and like, oh, am I a bad person? Am I a good guy that's done a bad thing? And I can't take back what I've done, but I can do good now. And in that moment, you're just like,
over there.
in that moment, what are we taking a photo of me?
I have no
No,
idea.
as
The
this is
pan.
happening, the camera's panning into him. The longest shot
stupidest
just of his
pan.
face as he monologues.
It's just, and you're just like, please, for the love of God, don't give this guy a redemption arc.
Yeah.
He's just a piece of shit. Anyway, so he goes all the way, he goes all the way to the Airbnb, and there's this really cool comparison to when he finds the tunnel, because at first he finds Tess and Keith's stuff there, because obviously Tess never got to leave, and he's like, do we have squatters? He calls his agent. He's like, what the fuck? Like, have you not cleaned up the place? Like, and again, he's just a fucking dick.
It
So-
just hangs up on him.
I got super excited about. Oh no, have we talked about when he goes into the basement yet?
No, so we're saying, so he
Okay.
goes into the basement. He finds the basement eventually, and instead of Tess's response, where she's like, "Fuck, I'm terrified," his response is, "Shit,
Money.
I can measure this and see if I can add more square inches to my property."
I'm not gonna lie, I love that. Him measuring the basement was so goofy, and I was just like, awesome. He's gonna get killed. We get another really cool thing. We get to learn a bit more about what's in the basement, and then I was like, oh, maybe maybe like all these disappearances cause the police to come, and they do like a full SWAT search, and we like get these awesome like shooting down tiny little tunnels and all this like epic like close quarter terror. And I'm just like, and then no, he keeps going, and
I think our entire problem with this film is his character being there for so long. It's not even the fact that his character existed, because his character could be a great comparison to Tess. But he doesn't. He's there for so long, and he's just such a
it makes us
dick.
miss Bill. It makes us miss
Bill.
Bill.
You mean Keith?
Skarsgård,
Bill,
Keith.
Skarsgård, yeah.
Like he was such a good guy.
Yeah, how cool? How cool would it have been if Yeah. Anyway,
it's actually interesting because I think when we were watching, like, I know that Keith wasn't really forcing anything on Tess, but it was almost like we felt, oh, he's a sketchy bloke, you know, like.
Well, even when she tries to leave, and he's like, no, you're gonna wait up here as I go in the tunnel.
And it's like, and then the writers are like, hold on, we can get a fucking level above this. This guy's a rapist, and he's gonna come here and try to get some fucking money off this place, the only place left in this suburb. And yeah, anyway, so he goes downstairs, and he runs into Tess.
Oh, okay. So hold up. So he finds the other path that the other two we saw them disappear. He goes forward, and he's actually got a torch for this, where the other two didn't.
He's got a torch and a teeny little knife.
So he's waltzing around. He comes across this room with sheets on the ground and this old CRT TV playing How to Calm Down a Child and Give It breastfeed it, and that was kind of cool. I thought that was like, ugh.
Loved it.
I was like, okay, cool. What the fuck's down here? That's like for that. Anyway, and then he keeps going. No, he hears something. He hears something in the direction of the entrance, so he goes in the opposite way.
Something tugs on his measuring tape.
That's right. It pulls off the tape measure. It pulls the tape measure out of his hands.
I actually really loved the way they showed the woman, the monster, the mother, in the hallway, because she's got such a pale skin and she's completely naked. But the way that her silhouette comes out of like the void, and you can faintly see like the silhouette of her, and then like the way they used darkness in this hallway, I think the lighting was superb.
And
when the monster was coming, we were all looking here. Ben was looking there.
I was looking here. I had both hands. I had like this, and I was blocking my left ear with my left shoulder, and then blocking. Oh, I was blocking everything, bro.
But
petrified.
I was just gonna say, like again, I thought the tape measure was gonna be kind of like a bread trail for him to try and work his way out, and then seeing it loop around in unconventional ways could have been really cool. Yeah. But like, so where are we up to? So it's chasing him through the hallway.
No, well, something pulls onto the tape measure.
What were you gonna say, Hannah?
Oh no, I was just building off of your point, how the color white, her body, like you can't. Sorry, that was a bad choice of words. Her white skin in the background mucks around with your eyes, but also like the use of focus in the camera. That really, because I found that I couldn't, at one of the end scenes, I found that I couldn't actually focus on her properly, because like the focus was really fucking with my eyes.
And again, in this scene too, you really see like the DOP kind of have just fun with this. Like it goes into first person for like 10 seconds.
Anyway, so we have a POV shot here, which is quite lovely, and then we have our current protagonist. These boys are having some fun. We have a current protagonist run into our old favorite girl, Tess.
He stumbles down, and the cage goes over the top, and they're kind of in like a pit of like
I wasn't watching.
What's the film where
like a tiger trap?
I'm thinking Hannibal Lecter, like you know when she gets like into. Anyway.
Long story, yeah. So
long story short, they're both trapped in there, and we see Tess. Yeah. And she's just like, calm down. If you freak out, she freaks out, and the arm comes through, and it's this bottle of like breast milk.
Hair hanging off the end of it.
Hanging off the end. It's so fucking gross. And she's like, you've got to drink it.
Though.
And then
pointing towards the camera.
Yeah. And also like there's like a side view of like the bars are just at the top, and you see the hair coming through the bar holes. It's like. Ugh.
And then like
I really thought they were going to do a POV shot where you could see her in the torchlight, but you don't, and it's really well done.
But There's a
the
moment
DOP
where you're like,
saving
it's
the
fucking
film.
so gross. She's gonna do this, and Tess just goes for it. Like, as
She has
she
to.
puts the bottle towards Tess, and Tess drinks it, and you kind of realize how fucked this situation is. If she's that scared of this mother, she's gonna drink out of that fucking thing.
When we're watching, because like we didn't expect any of this, but when we're watching, I really got men vibes. I'm like, please don't go the direction of men. Don't fuck around with this film. Just make it good still. And it went a weird direction, but it avoided it. I think obviously later on with AJ it gets a bit weird, but yeah. So there's the avoidance of the bottle, and this really triggers the mother.
Yeah, so Justin Long doesn't want to drink out of the bottle, and so the mother gets pissed off and jumps into the cage.
Yeah.
Because she wants to baby them.
Yeah.
They're her babies. Yeah.
Bro.
So I'd say that. Just in
Bro
case no one
incest.
caught on. She traps them and goes, "You're my children now."
Yeah.
Wants to feed them. One of them doesn't want to feed, so
I find
she
that
gets mad.
this actually the bottle scene, as you said before, was very beautiful, but it actually throws me off because it seems that like she's a lot larger. The bottle looks fucking
Because
massive.
they use
Like a
ultra
fisheye.
wide fisheye
Yeah.
lenses a
Yeah.
lot.
I
It really
just had a
throws me off.
realization, and again, the film not going too deep into it would have been anyway. The reason why she's mothering all these people is because the guy is too sick for them to have
I think-
children,
I
and
think-
he has been doing that to all of the
Yeah,
other.
they all have
and
to
so
learn
this
how to mother
last
each other.
one doesn't isn't able
a
to. So
child.
it's like I need
Really,
children.
it's really sad.
It's-
like
it's
We'll get into detail what this monster is and everything.
And
like
why
that.
it's there, but it's really gross and grotty.
So he's not taking the drink, she does, and he's like, and she kind of has to lean on her, and the mother monster taps her and then goes, "You not drink, you're coming with me."
Yes, he drags Justin Long out of the room, and
Which gives Tess the knife and the torch.
back into the room with this VCR player, which was playing the breastfeeding thing, and basically
That video is a training exercise for
Justin Long is forced to be breastfed by this grown lady, and it's really fucking gross. And in between him getting forced to breastfeed, we cut to Tess escaping the cell. She manages to get outside. She runs all the way to this gas station. Well, actually, sorry, the monster notices Tess leaving and
She
leaves Justin
steps-
Long.
steps on. Yeah.
She steps on the tape
No one
measure.
finishes it yet.
Yeah.
I was gonna let Ben finish.
She steps on the tape measure that Justin Long brought earlier, which alerts the mother. The mother leaves Justin Long to try and grab Tess. Tess manages to escape while Justin Long goes deeper into the tunnel. And I think is it... Oh, no. So before we actually missed a part. So when she falls into the cage, we have another one of those moments where it goes, boop, we're in a whole different setting.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we're in
we
the
mi- wait, we really-
1950s.
That was there?
already.
Yeah, it
1980s,
happens when they
yeah.
fall into the cage.
Oh shit! Oh, this was my
Is it-
favorite
How
bit.
did it transition
It
though?
is the 80s, isn't it?
So it has to be the 80s,
1982.
late 80s or 90s. It's the Reagan administration.
What year did he get in?
I
'Cause I thought it was 80. I thought it was 82 because I was saying 40 years all the time. I
Do you
think it's
remember?
1982. Anyway, so
Anyway,
yeah,
it's
we
an older.
flashback. This
You
is the
can
most-
see it's older because all the
so
houses
satisfying.
all the houses that were destroyed later in the film are now pristine and
But
perfect.
we don't know that initially until he goes inside. Like
True.
we can assume, but we don't know it until he goes back inside. So we follow this guy. We don't know who this guy is. He walks towards the camera. We follow him in the car. Beautiful shot. The car the camera goes into the car in one shot. Beautiful. Follows him. Ends up at the supermarket and he's getting it's very prisoners.
White sheets.
Oh.
Yeah, white sheets and diapers, but it's very prisoners. You know, like when
Like
he
with
goes,
Hugh
gets the,
Jackman and that?
yeah. When the creep goes and gets
80s.
82.
So 1981 to 1989.
I'll take
So,
82.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take 82 for $10,000. Anyway, yeah. So we have a shot in the supermarket. He's getting assistance at the supermarket. He goes home. Beautiful car, by the way. The car was gorgeous.
I
don't know
think
what
that
sort
was
of car it was.
a Chevy or a Lincoln or
Yeah,
something like that.
absolutely beautiful. Beautiful
cars look
interior.
awesome.
Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. And then as
Car
he's
nerds.
reversing, we kind of notice that his vision is kind of glancing over at this lady across the road.
That was so cool. That was so
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
The whole visuals of this, it's gone into like, it's a wide.
4x3.
It's not 4x3. It's
4x3
wider than
is
longer.
Smaller.
Is
remember,
it?
for-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was about
yeah.
like Fish was about this big.
Yeah.
But anyway, It's so well done. It's got a film effect over it.
It's all fisheye. Every shot is fisheye, which
And the opening to this whole scene is a one take, which is of him getting into the car. The camera walks with him and into the back seat. It's so cool. He does maintenance on this. So he watches this girl go into her home, and then he gets into a fake electrician's uniform. Goes, I've just got to check because there's been outages around, and he goes around and unlocks everything, like the windows and that, so he can get in. And then when he gets home, he finds out that other people in the street are leaving because the town had, quote unquote, the neighborhood's gone to hell. And that's the housing market crashing.
And that's when he goes back to his own home with his groceries.
And we see the door that we were terrified of earlier. It opens, and we hear someone, another girl screaming.
Yeah.
And
so at this point, you don't really know what's happening, but you can understand the history of this house.
Yeah.
And you know that monster has to be either
related. It has something to do with that flashback. But anyway, so Tess manages to get out of the house. She goes to the gas station and calls the cops.
Yep.
The cops get there, and as Ben said earlier, it's a really great scene where she says all the right things.
Yeah.
And the police still don't believe her, and it's still believable that the police don't believe her because that's just the way things are.
Because it's the area, it's the street. If you've got a lady that's poorly clothed and everything going,
dirty and
you let me out.
You're
gonna be like,
and I mean they do give her the benefit of the doubt. They do go back to the house and check it out, and she tries to kick the door down. That's not impressing them at all. They get a I don't know what the code is, but they get a active shooter over. Obviously, it's Detroit. It happens every hour. And then they go out to that, and that's the end we see of the police. And then that's when, what does she do?
We go back to Justin Long at that point.
Oh yeah, that's when
doesn't she try to go back in?
Oh my god.
Oh no, she does go back in.
Yeah. So,
but that's afterwards.
No,
First, we go back to Justin Long.
Yeah.
And he's gone further down the hallway, and he sees another room.
Yes. So, he's got his phone. He's at the door. And I love this, but I can see a problem with this shot, but I'll talk about it in a second. He's got his phone out, and he's terrified, and he's kind of, I'm a man, I'm going to stand my ground, and he gets all, like, ready to fight. And then it's really awesome. It's this hold on the shot of the darkness of that cavern way, and we see her lurk forward, stare off with him, and then
really?
walk back.
Yeah, did you not? Could you hide?
I wasn't watching, no.
So... The problem...
She's scared of the room because the father's in the room.
So, the problem I have with this shot is it's very well done, but it only works if you're watching it on something that has that level of definition. Because if you watch it on a monitor that doesn't have... So if you know, some monitors don't have that many because there's simply not enough pixels of the color black, you would know as a color gradist. If you watch that on anything else, it's just going to be this black thing of like pixelated crap, and then she'll just vaults forward, and you already can see it. Yeah, and then she'll go back into the pixelated darkness.
Yeah, whereas we're watching it on a proper projector.
It was very good. So you didn't notice that. So basically, when he's standing there at the doorway, you see her. She comes out of the darkness and sees where he is, and then backs out.
Wow, interesting. Okay, that had a lot to it, though.
That's
I never saw that.
Yeah, that's where it's out of focus as well.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to look at her, but I was like, fuck, I don't
Interesting.
mind looking at her.
Because I was watching a part of it, but I expected it to jump. So I was like, there's a bit of blackness. I was like, no, I'm not getting scared. I don't care. I'm chilling, covering my eyes.
What do you think happened?
I thought he was just looking and waiting, and then like maybe waiting to see if Tess was down there or something, and then decided, no, fuck, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, because seeing that adds a lot to that scene.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I watched that scene with him, with event. Oh, not spoilers. Anyway, he goes back to the room and then notices there's a man laying there. Ends up being the man. He looks fucking shit, but it's the man from the 80s flashback. He is looking on the edge of death.
Did you think the prosthetics look bad?
No. He looks like shit.
I thought they did a great job aging him up.
Yeah. He looked like shit. He looked like he was on the edge of death, and he was.
So, the room's covered in trash. So, what's interesting is the monster is feeding off the homeless people, but she's bringing back food for him. That's what's all the rubbish on the floor. And then he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get you out of here.
And he says the police are gonna be here any second. And as soon as he says that, the guy starts reaching for the dresser.
Yeah.
So while he's reaching for the dresser, he's looked over and there's a CRT monitor and it's got all these VHS tapes and they've all got labelled a female name.
Really,
Blind,
not names, descriptions.
Pregnant.
There was pregnant. There was one that was like 14-year-old or something. It was really
and the
gross
last
ones.
one was
What did you say?
gas station redhead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna say blind.
Blind.
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah, there was one saying blind.
Fuck. Anyway, so he pops it in. We get the POV of the trace tracker. What's her name again?
Tess.
Tracer. We've been playing Overwatch. She goes back in. She's like, I'm gonna help him. And then we come back to him. And he's watching it, and obviously something fucked up.
Well, you know, you can hear a bit of it, and you know basically that this old guy was taking women and raping them, and it's interesting. It's very interesting to see Justin Long's reaction to this actually, because when he sees it happening to someone else, he's disgusted by it. It repulses him. He can't believe how disgusting of a man he is, even though Justin Long did the same thing to someone else.
And that's why he's there in the first place.
And that is literally why he is there. And it's interesting that he cannot reconcile with himself that he is the disgusting person that he's in the room with. He is the same fucking disgusting piece of shit.
Could have been how he ended up.
So
yeah.
Fucking what's his name? The Prince Andrew. Anyway,
I hope he ends up like that piece of shit.
Anywho, so he turns around, starts having a go at him. Old mate gets the thing out of the dresser and turns out it's a gun. Smith and Wesson.
We need to go back and count the bullets. There's 6 bullets in that revolver.
He only fired 2.
No, but he fires one to his own head.
Yeah.
He fires one at Tess.
Yeah.
He fires one.
Spoilers. I wouldn't add that bit yet.
We'll get back to that. Anyway,
Sorry.
he gets her gun out, doesn't even say a word, caps himself.
Basically, when Justin Long had said the police are coming here earlier, the guy's like, shit, they're going to find all my VCR tapes. I'm going to get out of here.
Probably the least of his worries, mate. He's on the edge of life. Anyway.
Yep.
What happens now? What happens next?
Justin Long grabs the gun and goes into the corridor. And just before this happened, actually, Tess breaks back in to grab her car keys, and she gets back out, and she's waiting outside for the monster to come out of the door because she was told earlier, oh, we fucking missed a whole thing.
My god.
So when she escapes, the homeless guy comes back and helps her out.
I really want to talk about that character. Yeah.
He's a Mary Sue. His only purpose there is to further the story.
Oh fuck yeah! Like no, just solely to die.
Yeah.
Like,
but also just to give exposition. And
exposition to the characters. But
anyway, when she first escapes the house after Justin Long's getting breastfed, that homeless guy that was chasing her earlier comes back and is like, "Yeah, there's that. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. That woman lives in that house, and that's why I was trying to get you out." Anyway, he says, "Oh, I live by the water tower," and whatever, that all happens, and then Tess ends up, and he also says the monster comes out at night, and so Tess breaks back into the house and grabs her car keys.
She goes and gets the cops, and then the cops don't help her, so she breaks back in
and grabs her car keys and waits outside in the car. And then, right as Justin Long is looking at the VCR tapes, the monster breaks out and basically Tess just drives into the monster and pins the monster against a wall.
Fucking stupid. At that point, I'm driving off. I don't care about Justin Long. I'm driving.
She's driving a Jeep.
No,
the Jeep
that's what happened.
pick up pretty quickly.
She got the confidence to go back into
No, she was driving
back into the.
No, it was No, you're right. Yeah, no,
Would
it was.
it pick up quickly though?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
could she have escaped in time, or did
like
she need to crash into the
it
monster?
was what do they call it? A Chrysler? Like a
Corolla.
No, anyway.
American dog shit.
We don't care about that.
But anyway, so that all happens, and then she goes back into the corridor to go get Justin Long. Justin Long's got the revolver from the dead guy, and then you see Justin Long's light in the corridor,
Like a
and you see
burger.
Tess look at the light, and then you hear bang.
Ah.
And
Let's talk about that gunshot sound effect. That was so bad.
So bad.
Anyway, all I'll
But
say
the
is he
gun-
was certainly the fastest gun. Otherwise,
It don't sound like a revolver. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, so then he's like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry. You got in the way."
shot Tess.
Fucking idiot, this guy. Anyway,
Yeah,
he goes
yeah,
upstairs.
so done with that character.
And from now on, it's really easy to read. Unfortunately, the entire
Oh,
way
yeah.
this film goes,
you
is
kind
so
of
easy
go,
to
alright,
read.
that's gonna happen. Yeah.
So they stumble outside. Oh no, the monster's gone. She's like, oh, she's gone. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta get your help. And so they're like, oh, there's a survey down the road or whatever.
Oh yeah, so she earlier, like she uses her car to smash the monster and pins it against the wall. It seems like it's dead. When they come out of the house, it's no longer there, and it's so tropey. But yeah,
I can't remember really what happened. Like,
So
yeah,
she's
they
like,
walk
I
down the
remember
street.
the
I
guy
know where
was
to
like,
go.
the guy was like, he lives by the water tower. So they go to the water tower.
He's
He has a
there.
whole monologue session where he basically explains, oh, the monster is an incest baby from this rapist.
which gives it like not realism, but like the shit like this happens. Obviously, they don't grow on a 6'5" beast, but like people
Alabama.
in America, it's Europe, wherever it is, but like there are people, there are families that do that. And
Tasmania.
They turn, the babies turn out like that. Unfortunately, it's a
Rushworth.
terrible way of life, and it gives you some form of sympathy. For me, it gives you some form of sympathy for this villain, because it's like it's not her fault. She can't speak English. She knows very few words. The only words she knows is what she was taught by her auntie
VCR.
/ sister / mother when she was growing up. It was a continuous of just taking care of the next baby because they were forced to impregnate each other.
She can't even say baby. She's saying
Bob. Yeah. So then they walk over the water tower and they get there's a hole in the fence from the homeless bloke from before. He's like, come through here.
So
Awesome.
so like the homeless fella is very much like the character from The Shining. That's like, but like in the sense of like, oh, you think he's gonna help? Okay, yeah. And then all of a sudden, just immediately like, oh, I've been living here for 15 years. She can't get in here.
It's so just from this is what ruined it. But like
That I was so done. At
anyway,
that
so
moment.
yeah, they're sitting around the campfire. Old mate has his monologue. He's
Yeah,
he's
so
having a
Justin
sip.
Long has his stupid monologue where you think for a moment the film's gonna like redeem him for being a rapist.
Fuck that.
Thank God they back out on it, but even it just sours at the fact that it even happens. I don't think it needed to have that moment at all. I think just keep him as the. You already think he's a piece of shit. He shot Tess. You still think he's a piece of shit. Why do you have to have that redeeming moment at all?
And so then
It was almost like, oh, let's have a go at the audience for thinking that we're gonna redeem this guy. That we're
And so we have the homeless man get ripped to shreds.
So she finds them, obviously.
gets his arm ripped off and then beating the shit out of like
She beats him to death with his own
So
arm.
like fucking what's his name? Like a Wookiee. Like
with the stormtroopers. Yeah, that was honestly brilliant. And then these two, obviously Tess has been shot. I don't know how the fuck she hasn't lost blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Bloody
got shot in the
trooper.
abdomen. There's no exit wound, so the bullet's still in there. I mean, they never talk about an exit wound, but anyway, sure, the bullet's still in there, bouncing around, having fun.
Literally.
Having a grand old time.
Yeah, and so they go up this water tower, which was highlighted when they were running away.
yeah.
And this is also like a lot of the poster is her trying to climb up
Trying to go on the
this
stairs.
Yeah.
tower. Anyway, keep going, Ben.
And this is a big... And from here on, the movie's just fucking shit. I'm sorry. It's so bad.
So quick as well.
It's just they've rushed. It's,
just-
like they
yeah.
forgot they needed an ending.
It doesn't end. There's no resolution.
So basically, they climb up the Tess and Justin
AJ.
Long, AJ,
Yeah.
climb up the water tower. The monster's following them. AJ's like, he completely has a 180 on his monologue. He's like, I can still survive. You need to buy me time. And he throws Tess off the water tower, saying,
Go get your baby.
go get your baby. And the monster jumps off the water tower after her.
And
That was
it's-
when everyone laughed, bro.
because
Yes.
it was literally slow motion, like mockery of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
She's falling. And then-
like the fucking MJ scene.
Yeah.
And then the monster's like diving off, and you see her just
Like,
everything.
yeah,
She does like
Literally
a
bouncing.
dolphin dive.
Literally tits first.
But like even the physics of that scene, she's been falling for a while. How the fuck did she catch
Get
her?
under
Under
her,
Under
yeah.
her? Anyway, sure.
Anyway.
Sorry
That's
to cut you
So
off,
Justin
Jacob.
Long comes downstairs at the bottom, and then somehow
Oh,
Tess
wait.
is still alive.
Sorry, can I just point out the worst part of this movie?
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, the thing's coming after us. Oh, you've got your revolver, right? Yeah, I do.
Butterfingers.
And drops it. It is the worst acting of the entire film. He's like, oh my god, I dropped my revolver. And drops it below there, comes up. He's like, oh, well, I've got to survive. Yada, yada. Shoves it off. You continue there, Jacob.
Sorry, Justin Long comes down and says he realizes that Tess is still breathing, and he instantly goes into like, oh,
Panic
you slipped.
mode.
You slipped.
I had to do it.
I was trying to hold on to you. I tried to protect you, but you slipped, and it's okay. I'll get you help. I'm a good guy. I'm a
And
good
she
guy.
can't talk, so he's like, oh, I'm glad you understand.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck up, you
And
prick.
then, thank fucking God, what we've been waiting this entire movie, the monster gets up, fucking
Grabs
puts
AJ.
her dirty, long fingernails into his eyes
Brilliant
and
shot.
splits his head in half.
Love it. I would have loved to have seen his corpse on the ground, but anyway. Yeah, brilliant shot. Like I think obviously it's quite cringy for a lot of people, but it's very satisfying.
It was, that character was just such a piece of, and he's the piece of shit in the way
Was
that
it
he.
satisfying?
Yeah.
It was for me because
After he threw her
The
off the
death
tower.
was cool. The death was satisfying, but like the actual whole purpose of him wasn't.
I found it satisfying.
Yeah.
I fucking hated that character. He's the worst kind of piece of shit in the sense that you know that society is okay with the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that kind of guy gets to do what he does and gets to continue living.
Yeah, it's too loud.
No.
That guy, kind
no.
of guy gets to do what he did and continue living his life as if it didn't
Yes.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he will never admit to himself or to others that what he did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else will call him out on what he did as wrong.
And then we have our last little emotional part, which, I mean, after everything has been built up, you're not as scared of this villain
They
anymore.
show her too much.
Nah, what? When?
Like the monster.
At the end?
Not just during the whole thing, you can see it from top
Oh,
to
yeah,
bottom,
no,
and
yeah,
she's
yeah.
not scary anymore.
Yeah, that.
She's not scary by the
Ever
end of
since
it.
you ran out of the house, she wasn't scary.
But at that point, the whole movie's different, and then you're trying to. The movie's trying to get you to feel you do feel sympathetic for this character because
Yeah.
you know that
Out of
she
her
has
control.
no choice in the way she is,
Yeah.
and it was just raised. But at the same time, it's like we're watching a horror movie. We don't need so many sympathetic characters. We just need something that's bad, and that bad thing can't be the character that we just watched for 3.5 hours of the movie. Sorry, 3/4 of the movie.
So I don't
It
think
can't
it was
be
3.5 hours.
like that bad
I wouldn't have
person.
made it if it was 3 hours.
That bad thing can't literally be Justin Long, because we literally just watched him for the 3/4 of the movie.
We were meant to care for him, like, for half of that film. How the fuck? Yeah.
You're meant to feel like really weird and sympathetic, and also not sympathetic, and then this monster is meant to be the only thing that you can think, yeah, that's bad and that's evil, and then you're sympathetic towards it, and it's like, and then it just doesn't have a satisfying conclusion.
No, it
because
doesn't.
she like kind of unceremoniously just
Grabs her
shoots
revolver.
her in the head, and then the credits roll, and you're like, what the fuck? Hannah?
Really poor ending.
Somehow, she falls right next to the gun as well. Like,
Yeah,
she
the
hasn't
gun.
moved
I thought
an
the gun
inch.
was on the stairs of the
No,
well.
he picked it up on the way down. Because remember, he was gonna
Oh.
put someone out of their misery.
Really?
Yeah, he picked it up
Dude,
on the
he's
way
such a
back.
piece
Yeah.
of shit. I fucking
Oh.
hate that
Yeah,
character.
no, he was gonna make sure both of them were dead. I think that's why it was emphasized.
Yeah.
Yo, no, that's actually mad. The whole revolver thing. Yeah, so I think the emphasis of there was 2 bullets left in a revolver.
Yeah.
Right? There's 2 bullets left in a revolver. He picks it up, going to go kill both of them, make sure both of them are dead.
True.
Only one bullet gets fired, and there's only one person that survives.
How cool it would have been if... So then we really know his intentions is as he's walking over to the 2 on the ground,
Yeah.
he opens it up and you can see the 2 rounds are still left in there and he goes,
Yeah,
just
like
enough.
that would have been good.
Yeah, then you
But
can
the-
know what he's thinking.
But this isn't a good film, so.
To be honest, like from talking with you guys, it doesn't seem like you guys think it's a bad film. It seems like you think the second half is a bad film.
Yes,
Which is
yeah.
what I would agree, because they're 2 different movies.
It's like Men. Second half is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
When Keith died, everything before Keith died was awesome. Afterwards,
Yeah.
couldn't give a shit.
And also, okay, the movie's over now. We've gone through the movie. Let's talk about
The ending. Hang on. The
Just
ending,
brings it in.
just when she's walking off with the music and the font that's Stranger Things
it's
fonts.
the same font as
Stranger Things fonts that they ripped off defonts.com.
I love that site, dude.
Dude, that just changed the whole energy of the film. But she's marching with a bullet wound.
It was an 80s.
Yeah, with a bullet wound, like, I'm gonna go get the cops and I'm gonna prove them
She's
wrong.
fallen off
You know what the
a
problem
thing.
is?
She's been shot.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I'm bulletproof woman.
Anyway,
The movie goes back and forth between what levels of violence affect what.
Yeah.
Like
She's
at some
Dwayne
point they're
Rock
like
Johnson,
a bullet
apparently.
wound a bullet wound to the head equals death, and then at another point a car fucking she's not superhuman. She's just deformed.
No, hang on. The energy of violence in this film was all over the place. Keith got bitten and he was on all fours like,
He was just scared, but like also branching off of Jacob, she's not superhuman, and they're in this like 6-foot hole when they're being breastfed, and she's like, "You're not acting like my baby," and drags him out of the fucking hole. Like,
She's
what?
got like this weird superhuman strength, which doesn't really make the movie doesn't have any consistency with what. Like, Tess can fall from a fucking well tower. Even if you get supported, you're fucking not standing up after that. But she gets off and walks off with a bullet wound.
she's Spider-Man.
She fucking is, man. And it's fucking...
it's a bit shocking.
It's actually... I think that's why I was so mad at it, is because it's so disappointing because of the potential that was there.
Yeah, I reckon we should give our ratings now. I think we've had enough talk about
I think this
film.
is the film.
Jacob, start us off, mate. Give us your rating.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because half the movie was good. So...
3.
4.5. 9.
7.
7. Oh my lord, what the fuck?
It's actually got me scared.
What did you give Elvis?
Pardon?
What did you give Elvis?
I don't remember.
Out of 7 as well.
No, that
No,
is
no,
disgusting.
She was...
5?
All I will say is, the films that we have watched have made Elvis may look better. That's all I will say.
Nope is the movie of the year.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, and anyone who says otherwise just doesn't...
But I was more scared of this film than I was of Nope.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Nope.
Well, I
Nope
mean, I
wasn't a
guess I was
horror.
scared for the monkey scene though.
Nope wasn't a horror though. Nope was... I think that's the
Social
biggest thing with
Nope was
Nope.
a piece of art. Thank you very much.
But
Yeah, no.
I think that's why people are so disappointed in Nope, is because it was marketed as a horror when in reality it was an
True,
adventure. And it's
yeah.
almost like we have the same issue with this one, except we wanted a horror. Like, whereas when it's Jordan Peele, we're happy to get whatever we can get.
Yeah, because it's going to be
But-
fucking amazing.
Can you imagine if Jordan Peele directed this?
It would have been
How
great.
cool, like all like the hidden things, all the hidden written, like we have like
What does it mean?
emphasized 80s flashbacks.
Yeah, and like the tunnels, and I still love the idea of the cops with their torches trying to go through that,
But like
shooting
lighting
down,
it up, and like she's running towards them as it's lighting it up in the hallway.
and then freaking the fuck. That would have been
Yeah.
so cool. And like something like when they do lose their torches, it's
Yeah,
only the
yeah, yeah.
gunshots that light up
Exactly,
the room.
but they kind of do that. There was a scene, I don't know
That
where
was
it
great.
was.
That was great. Where
they do
Justin
the flashing.
Long's flashlight starts turning off and
Yeah,
on, and
yeah.
you see her like coming.
Yeah, so
closer
do
and
that
closer.
with gunshots. Do
Would've been
that,
great.
like have the torches go out and have but it's like it's like stop motion.
And when they said she's not the scariest thing in there, I was thinking, oh fuck,
there's another monster.
no, like they've
That's what I
had
thought.
probably maybe more than one baby.
Yeah,
There's,
what
like,
happened to
a
all the
lot
other
of them.
siblings? Did they
Yeah.
just all die? Like they're just non-existent. Anyway,
Unless
this
you hate
movie
them.
was mediocre, but also great, and it really confused me as to what I feel about it.
Oh, didn't she just eat the other siblings? When they
Probably.
kept in cages?
Probably.
That's probably why there was like blood there for those people. Because like
God only knows.
it hadn't been rented for a while.
Again,
God knows.
Not
I'm not
explained.
thinking about this anymore. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for watching our Halloween podcast.
Thank you very much. all
Thank you,
listening.
Hannah, for
Don't-
the effort you put into this
Exactly.
podcast.
Very
Thank
well
you,
done.
Hannah. Don't watch this film. It's not worth your time.
What? I thought it was pretty
Oh,
decent.
again,
Watch it with Hannah.
Watch it with watch it with your friends because it is a fun watch to watch with friends. But don't
Yeah.
watch it by yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Film Burnouts signing off.